Hey guys, this is Cliff Hammock with Forerunner Communications, and today I want to take a little bit of time and show you a mega menu that I recently implemented on my homeschool community website. Ever since I started working on this site, I've tested several different menu options, and I was really looking for a nice mega menu that would allow me to organize the content on my site, the community site, as well as be able to do things like inject module information into my menu and just take full advantage of CSS to make it look as nice as possible. One thing I do want to note is that this site is under construction, so everything's not complete, but just want you to at least have an opportunity to see what I've done with this. The other day, my friend Stephen Webster over at DNN360 mentioned that he liked my menu and asked me where I got it from. And the menu came from Dow, who is a developer at DNN360.net. This is his website, and this is his listing on Snow Covered. And for $36.99, it's a product you really can't beat. I've worked with Dow several times over the last 4 or 5 years maybe, and he's always provided excellent support. One thing is that his products are very powerful and flexible, and so they can pretty quickly become a little bit overwhelming. I was fortunate enough that when I first started working with Dow, he got on a go to my PC meeting with me, even though he's in Vietnam and I'm here in the US, and he just went through really clearly how to implement his technology. And so it's been a tool that I've used on several different applications. And once I found out that he was doing a mega menu, I made sure that I got involved with testing that for him. And so I've implemented it, and you can see here I've got a mega menu here that to me is has a lot of flexibility, a lot of power, gives me the ability to determine what I want at the top of my menu, what I may want across different segments of my menu. This ability over here is allowing me to inject module content directly into my menu. So for instance, here I've got my latest active social users on my site. Here are their profiles, and you can link straight over to them. I've got a latest blog post on homeschool content. I've got similar things with latest articles. Over here on my About Us page, I've got our latest news articles as well. And you can see that it's just a very, very flexible system, gives you a lot of capability. And to be honest with you, I'm not a CSS guru, and so I may not have taken full advantage of it yet, but I feel like I've got a pretty decent product here, and I wanted to show how it's actually organized. And just as an aside, I've got a list of conferences here. I actually got a list of directories here, and one of the things that I've done on those as a test was to implement the same technology using the same module, but to be able to place it in a side menu navigation, and then manipulate the look and feel of that with CSS as well. So here you can see I've got this menu here that is created with the same product and allows me to control a side menu using second level submenu items. So what I'm going to do is I'm logged in right now as my member account. I'm going to quickly log in as host and let you see how this particular product is set up. Okay, so you can see I'm logged in now as a super user, and my menu looks kind of crazy as in this type of mode, but I've not really spent a lot of extra time working on that. So what I'll do is let you know that under your host settings, there's a DNN360 Mega Menu, and that's an actual module that lets me control the aspects of the Mega Menu. And before I jump straight into that, I want to go and let you know how I've actually implemented this. There's a couple different ways of implementing the DNN360 navigation suite. One is that you can actually use it as a module, and so for instance, if it's a side menu, you would actually drop it into your right pane, content pane on your site, and then control what configuration file it points to, and then also control the CSS and those kind of things. But in my case, it makes a lot more sense to go ahead and just use a skin object approach. And you can see it's just a single line here that points to a particular style. In my case, it's the Mega Menu 9 Colors version 1. You can rename that to anything you want. I just haven't done that myself. And so you've got a few parameters there. You also have to register here at the top the control, and that's the DNN360 Mega Menu. And if you look real quick into the file structure here, you actually see this listed as a CISS side menu under desktop modules. But once you go the route of making it a skin object, you no longer have to deal with that. Everything's included in your skin area. And so, for instance, you've got the configuration file here. You've got some control of CSS at this level, but beyond that, he's given you several different versions of his of the menu already built. I took the blue one, and basically using this menu.css, I've been able to go in and tweak it to meet my color scheme needs and things like that. A couple of other items I'll point out real quick is inside the Mega Menu, I've added things like a content header, what I want to look with my content header after a particular menu item. And I've also, when I inject module content into the menu, I've got some information here about how I want to format that. So let's get back to the menu. One thing you'll notice, for instance, on the community content, you'll see that I've got information related to the community, related to groups, and related to the member directory. And so the way that this is managed is you tell the Mega Menu module where you want it to break this up by placing information over here into this new column. So for instance, I only have a few places where I physically tell it to break, and that's on the group directory here, which ends up putting group information over here, and then wrapping other other menu items down here. On homeschool content, I'm breaking at the chat, so you can see right here I've selected chat as being one of the breaks, and then over here on directories I've broken it at classifieds, so it gives me two different columns. So that's what that part is used for. And then here's where I select my actual style that I'm working with and my theme. And then if I go down here, for instance, on community content, I've told it that I want 3 columns in that particular Mega Menu option. And I've gone in here and said that I want this particular statement that says create and consume content on the homeschool community at the top, and I've given it that class that I showed you a minute ago that I created. And so if you look, this actual style is controlled by that class, and then the remainder is controlled by the other classes that are within the menu system. So that's pretty simple. And then down here is where it gets a little more complex, but not really too bad. What I'm basically doing here is I've got I'm trying to inject content from my module, from an active social module, directly into the menu. And so the first thing I've done is I've created this box border, and it looks kind of crazy here. Let's jump over here and look. You can see I've created this boxed effect. And then I've got latest members and latest blog post. And as far as being able to specify those, what I've done is I've got a module, a shared module page. And when you're doing much active social development, you get used to creating these types of modules that you can either inject into a profile tab or throughout your site in different places. So real quick, my new members is just a module that I've got on here. It is a active social module that I've set a particular custom view to. Down here I've got the latest blog post module, which is actually using digNuke's DigArticle, and also latest articles and latest news. So let's jump back real quick. And you'll see what that's doing again is bringing in these modules and bringing in this content. So let me go back and choose that particular page again. And as you can see, this styling is just for that particular border. I could actually, create a class that differently. This class column _1 is where you actually specify where you want it to show up, and that is used by the Mega Menu to determine where to put the injected module content. So I've got a content header for latest members. I've got an actual module, and all you really have to do is just throw a span up there and put mod, and this is the actual number of this module that you can get from if you're using URL rewriting. You don't necessarily see the module number in the URL, so you can just go to your settings on that module and it'll show you what the module ID is, or if you need to, you may have to go into your database. So it's that simple. I've injected two different modules, number 483 and number 533, and it's pretty straightforward. Same thing, let's go down real quick, and if you look at homeschool content, it's also 3 columns. I've got a header, and I'm injecting the latest articles module. So it's a pattern here. You definitely can see that it's not that complicated once you get into it. I noticed Stephen Webster did mention that it gets a little bit overwhelming because of the flexibility, and there's not a lot of documentation on this, but fortunately I was the person who tested this product out with Dow, and so I got a lot of personal attention and exposure. For my directories, I'm actually only using a 2-column approach. So you can see that that's only 2 columns, and I'm breaking again at classifieds. One thing you can do that I'm not going to actually do here, but if you say move to right side, for instance, you could, if you wanted to, and you had some room here and you wanted to show your support tab, on the far right to kind of call attention to it, you can also do that. And there are some other things that you can do with the module that I may not necessarily be doing, but I just wanted to do a quick video to show the things that I've accomplished, and hopefully be able to give some other people some ideas on how they can use this product as well. And I'm sure that if you get a chance, Dow would appreciate you supporting him through purchasing his product. And again, even if you're not using it from a Mega Menu perspective, for normal menus, side menus, it's just a very, very good flexible product. So that's all I'm going to cover today, and if you have any questions, I'll post this up on YouTube and on DNNosphere.com.